speak into there?
Yeah, just like you make a phone call.
Cool. So I'll just start from the beginning here.
Yeah, you can just do like you're doing the presentation.
Okay.
And I'll figure it out.
So I would typically show like documents going into the system, which you can handle no problem. Then once you go into Deficiency Manager, you can just launch it here, and it should automatically log in. Okay, and we have two different configuration tabs here. One is just a list of new employees, and this one is grouped by two groups, which is employees by department. So if you have a situation where, like in this case, you want to group them by different departments within the organization, what's neat about this is we can apply different lists of required documents based on this grouping. So maybe it's different states, right? Like they have a branch in Alaska and they have a branch in California and that type of thing, and you might have different required documents based on the different state, or in this case based on the different department. So what's neat about this is we can click on one of these departments and see just those employees that are missing one or more required documents. In this case we're using HR as an example, but it'll work with any file cabinet that has a required list of documents. So now I click on a particular employee number in this case, so we can group by any of the fields in the file cabinet. Again, in this case I'm using department and then the personnel number, and here now I can see what documents we have in the system, which are indicated by the white line items, and you can double click on the row of that document to actually view it in the viewer if you want to. And you'll be able to see any annotations and things on that document. But more importantly, we also have here in the grid a list of those documents that are still missing for that employee. And as I click on a different employee here, we can see Ralph has a different set of required documents and so on. So this is only those employees that are missing one or more of the required documents based on the fact that construction has a list of required documents. And if I move on to, for example, the Human Resources Department, and I click on this employee, there's a different list applied. So HR maybe has a different list or different required documents list. If we go on to marketing here, you'll see here, their list is much shorter. So what's nice about this is rather than have to manage multiple tabs for each department or each state or each customer or whatever, however you're going to group these, now we can put them all into one list and apply a different list of required documents to each grouping. And of course, once you click on this document, let's say for example here that Tom Winter, it's decided that he's actually not going to be onboarded in this process, we can update the status of the documents, of a group of documents as well. So maybe there's an exception that he doesn't need these extra documents, or again maybe Tom decides he's not going to work for us. So I can update the status of just a selected document if I select an individual one, or of all the documents. And when I do that, it can either prompt me to enter in a status, so I can just enter that in, or we can of course make that a fixed status like complete, or maybe we have two buttons, one for complete and one for employee left or something along those lines. But just as an example here, if I want to mark it as complete, I click OK. It says, are you sure you want to change all of these to a status of complete? And I say yes. It'll go through and update those documents, and you can see it drops off the list. In addition to that too, we also have an export to CSV button. So up in the top right corner, if for example the person using the Deficiency Manager wants to generate a list of the documents that are all missing still for a particular department or a particular personnel number, however they want to see it, maybe they want a list of everything, they can click on this export report button and essentially select which tab they're looking for. So again, if you have multiple deficiencies, you can create different configurations or tabs for those different deficiencies. I click on a particular department and I can generate a report that shows me the listing by, again, department and then personnel number here you can see, and which documents they're still missing. So if, for example, they want to take a master list out of the system, email it to someone, email it to a third party, then they can generate that report and save it to their computer somewhere or email it or whatever they want to do. In addition to that, they can print these lists of employees or departments, again, however the deficiency manager is configured. So again, very easy to share that information outside of the deficiency manager using the reporting, or just the simple print button if you just want to get a small list of what's going on there. Okay. I'll let you stop it. I don't know where.
Oh, is it all?
That's it.